Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Saad Chhotani. I hope you're all having a great day. Today I'm talking about effective communication, and I want to share with you a tool that that you might not have heard about earlier when talking about effective communication. In order to produce really valuable communications, really valuable conversations with people you are connected with, be it professionally, be it socially, be it people you are in relationship with, maybe it's your boss, maybe it's your subordinate, maybe it's someone you've just met a few minutes ago, maybe it's a friend, could be anyone. If you think about this approach, I can guarantee that your conversations are going to get more and more effective, and the quality of your communications will grow a lot more. How are you going to achieve it? So you must have heard about this thing called esteem, self-esteem. Now every individual have their own images of themselves. Some people have higher self-esteems, some people have lower self-esteems. Now when in communication with people with lower self-esteem or higher self-esteem, any kind of a person, they will be having their images in their minds. But now when you are communicating with those people, you have no idea what kind of a self-esteem that a person hold for themselves. So for you who is communicating, your objective in a communication should be to increase, enhance, improve their self-esteems for themselves after the communication ends, after the conversation ends. Now how is it how is it going to work? So when you're talking to a person, and the person maybe is your subordinate, the person who's going to report to you, the person who's working in your team, and you're a boss, you're a leader or manager of that team. Your responsibility in a conversation is to empower the person who is listening to you. And when I say you have to empower in communications through variety of different ways. When you when you open the opportunity for the listener to actually speak for themselves, when you make the conversation much secure, when you are more accessible, when you're more or I would say less judgmental in a communication, when you are not really judging the person who is maybe listening to you, who has to report to you. Now with this, you actually open the opportunity for the person to speak for themselves, to have greater confidence, to have greater empowerment for themselves. And when the conversation finishes, you're able to actually convey more self-esteem for that person. That person will start feeling more and more empowered. Same goes to you as well. When you're communicating with someone, if you don't get the right kind of a response, or if you are not able to feel respect within the communication, within the conversation, now whoever that person is that you're talking to, if you don't feel the respect, you will not tend to have respect for the person that you're communicating with. You will tend to lean backwards in the communication. You will never form the trust that is supposed to form in the effective communication. You will never actually share things that you were supposed to share in the communication to be more effective, to be more authentic. Now this can actually make the quality or really drop the quality of a communication in professional environment. Now when we talk about relationships, if you're not able to actually make the person who is in relationship with you, could be your spouse, could be your sibling, could be your parents, if you're not actually able to demonstrate respect, esteem for them, who is listening, who is coming in conversation with you, they will not be able to form trust, and they will not be able to find value in the communications. So it's a very transformative approach. Now you have to just do simple things in order to actually demonstrate respect and esteem for the person who is maybe listening to you. And maybe if you are listening to someone, if you are going into conversation with someone, your responsibility is to have an objective of actually making the person feel more and more good about themselves once the conversation or communication has to end. Now you can do it with few simple techniques. All you have to do is first of all listen without judgments. You don't have to form or start making the results, making the judgments during the conversation. Okay, yes, you have to understand and you have to actively listen to what the person is saying, but without being judgmental about what they're supposed to tell you and what they're supposed to inform. uh, when you do this, the person will feel more and more secure in the conversation and will be able to share more and more openly in that communication. Secondly, you have to pay regard to the person. You have to, regardless of the distinctions, regardless of the differences that the individual has. If you are a boss and you're talking to an employee, you should be able to make the employee more and more comfortable in the conversation so that he can have a greater image of himself or herself in the conversation after it finishes. Now, once you're able to actually think about communications from the perspective of actually producing value to your listener or producing value for yourself, you'll be able to really produce quality conversations, quality communications around you, be it in professional environment, be it your social environment. So that was one life-changing communication tip that I can give to anyone who is listening to me. I've used this technique in many different occasions, presenting to people, talking to people, talking to hundreds of people at once, speaking with a stranger. I have used this technique and this always works. And this really, really makes the person stand out in a conversation. I pledge you to actually give it a try. Maybe whenever you're talking to someone who is your friend, just try and remember that you have to make the person feel good after the conversation about themselves, not about you. So when you do this, you'll be able to produce a lot of quality conversation, quality communications for yourselves, and will be able to build much stronger relationships with others. Thank you.